نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد بسم الله. Inshallah, today we will do the summary of Surah Al-Dhariyat. So Surah Al-Dhariyat is a Makki surah, 60 ayat and 3 ruku. And the name Dhariyat comes from the beginning of the surah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath on Dhariyat, which means the wind that it scatters things. And this surah has an emphasis on the reality of Day of Judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes punishment for those who disbelieved and mocked the Day of Judgment. And it also talks about the birth of Ishaq alayhi salam as a miracle and mentions stories of a few other prophets and punishments to their nations. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes several oaths to emphasize the certainty of the Day of Judgment. It comes in Surah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذاريات ذروا فالحاملات وقرا فالجاريات يسرا فالمقسمات أمرا إنما توعدون لصادق وإن الدين لواقع. Then we're told how only the deluded ones go astray from Quran, and they are the ones who are confused by conflicting ideas that are presented to them. So they have an intrinsic propensity to actually get astray, and this is what leads them to get confused very quickly and get misguided. إِنَّكُمْ لَفِي قَوْلٍ مُخْتَلِفٍ يُوفَكُ عَنْهُ مَنْ أُفِكَ. There are obvious signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's majesty within our own bodies as well as in the creation around us. وَفِي الْأَرْضِ آيَاتٌ لِلْمُوقِنِينَ وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Also, it is recommended to return salutations with a better greeting, as we learned in the case of Ibrahim alayhi salam. When the angels came, they greeted him first with salaman, and he greeted them back with a stronger salutation, salamun. إِذْ دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ فَقَالُوا سَلَامًا قَالَ سَلَامٌ قَوْمٌ مُنْكَرُونَ. Then there is a mention of etiquette of hospitality and how Ibrahim alayhi salam served the guests that came over. So he ran quietly and prepared the best food he had for them and presented it in front of them and invited them to take part in it without really forcing them. So فَرَاغَ إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِ فَجَاءَ بِعِجْلٍ سَمِينٍ فَقَرَّبَهُ إِلَيْهِمْ قَالَ أَلَا تَأْكُلُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the power to make the incredible possible beyond the physical laws of this world. So this is in the context of Ibrahim alayhi salam and his wife Sarah anha, and they did not have a child because Sarah anha was barren when she was young. So these angels gave glad tidings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about how they will be conceiving a child. And she was ecstatic. At the same time, she struck her face in disbelief, an expression of disbelief. And she expressed how she had been barren. So how can she bear a child at this age? So the angels replied, قالوا كذلك قال ربك إنه هو الحكيم العليم. That indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered for such to happen. And of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond the limitations of physical laws of this world. We see examples of past nations who were destroyed due to their arrogance and disbelief. So it's mentioned about various nations. قالوا إنا أرسلنا إلى قوم مجرمين وفي موسى إذ أرسلناه إلى فرعون بسلطان مبين وفي عاد إذ أرسلنا عليهم الريح العقيم وفي ثمود إذ قيل لهم تمتعوا حتى حين وقوم نوح من قبل إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين. So all of these nations were destroyed due to their disbelief and rejection of their prophet and the signs that they brought to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us how He has created everything in pairs. And this is true not only for the let's say animals and plants, but also true in various things that we see in this world. So day and night, truth and falsehood, and so many other examples of contrasting situations. So everything is in pairs. ومن كل شيء خلقنا زوجين لعلكم تذكرون. Reminder is necessary and beneficial for believers as well. So it is not only our duty to spread Islam and tell non-believers about the truth in Islam, but it's also beneficial for believers to remind each other of various actions for them to increase in their good deeds and stay away from sins. وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And primary reason for creation of humans and jinns is mentioned in the surah, which is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, مَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم.